said Dad because he's the oldest. Everybody knows that, Dad. And Dad was born on Hadley Mountain, which is a community called Yonkers, which is, you go to Pegs and you go way out into the sticks. And he was the youngest of 4 boys. And then they moved to, and Mom and Dad, you'll have to jump in if I mess stuff up, might get mixed up. And then, let's see. After that, then you moved to Kansas City, right? When you guys.
Yeah, Pryor and then Kansas City.
Pryor and then Kansas City. The reason they went to Kansas City is because there was World War II, and his dad went up there to work on with the railroad because they were missing some people, that went to war. So he took their place. And then when the men come back, then so Dad, what happened to Kansas City when you got there, that big city, and then you started school there? What happened?
The first day.
Your first day of school.
Out of a little Downing school, that one-room school.
He went from a one-room school to Kansas City. And then what happened when you went to that first day of school, Dad?
I cried all day that that teacher let me alone. That's gospel.
I think he even, didn't you lay your head on the desk after you got done?
All day.
And then his dad wasn't done there. Then when the men come back from war and they took their places at the railroad, then he decided to uproot everybody and go to California. And they went to Los Angeles, of all places, and they went to school there.
Did you put your head down?
I was past that.
You were used to the city then. So then they came back to Oklahoma. And did you go to Lost City then, or did
Lost City.
Oh, did you ever go to Locust Grove?
No.
Okay,
That
then you
was
came to
our
Lost.
oldest brother did.
Okay, and then he came to Lost City, and he was the country boy, and then Mom was the city girl because she was from Boulder. So Lost City, and so he grew up there, and then went to high school. Now, when we go to Lost City, even to this day, we still, when we go from Pegs, because this is during when we do decoration and stuff like that, I'm always with them to help with that, and so we always take that road from Pegs through Lost City to then you go to Holbert Cemetery. And they always reminisce about where everything is, and I'm saying, please do not go off the road, because then they'll go on these little tangents. And I know where Pot Store was, I know where Jimmy Wing lived, I know where his mother lived, where that house was, it's not there anymore. And so they have settled down with that, but we have gone off-road and gone down these little places. So he went to Lost City School, and then he went to Holbert to go to high school. Okay, then I'll stop there. Mom, being the city girl that she was born and raised in Holbert, the third of 10 children, almost gave you too many, 10 children. And then her scare one time was that when she was staying with Louise Gassaway, Miss Gassaway decided to take her to California because that's where her family was. And you went one summer, right? Well, Miss Gassaway was acting like she wasn't gonna come back because that's where her family was, and she was visiting, and she was kind of like wanting to stay there. Well, Mom kept telling her that she needed to get ready for school because she's coming back to Holbert and get ready for school. So she did come back, and then Mom graduated from high school there. In 59, Dad graduated in 59. Now the story is that Dad would walk all the way from Lost City to Holbert sometimes, and he first noticed her at the movie theater. Now, back then, Holbert did have a movie theater. It had 2 drugstores that had ice cream shops, and also a hotel. 2 hotels.
2 ice cream shops.
Jim Rogers, his family had 1 ice cream shop, drugstore. Yeah. So it was a bustling town. So that's when he first noticed her, was at the theater. So then they started dating, and then he did tell me that a lot of times he would walk from Lost City to Holbert to see her. The last time we were down that way, I said, boy, that's a really long ways. I don't know if I would do that. That's a long walk. And he said, well, that's just something for you to say. And I said, Mom, would you do that? Would you walk all the way to see Dad? She goes, no, I wouldn't. Dad joined the Army. He wanted to join the Army when he was in 17, but his mom wouldn't let him at that time. She thought he was too young. So he waited till he was 18, he joined the service and went into the Army. And then, we call it his European tour then, because that's what all the pictures that we have of them is when he went to, overseas. Were you stationed in Germany at that time? And then him and his buddies took, the time to go see all of Europe and those places, and he has a lot of pictures from that, so I call it the European tour. Then he came back and, we were trying to decide if he was gonna re-up or not, right? And so him and Mom, decided to get married, and, so he re-upped and stayed in the Army, and they went to Fort Sill, and that's where I was born, in Lawton. And then, from Fort Sill, then did you come back, because you went to Korea?
Korea.
Wait, and Mom and I came back to Tahlequah. And then, when you came back from Korea, then
Holbert. We stayed
Holbert,
in
then we
Holbert.
stayed in Holbert, okay, that's when we stayed in Holbert, okay. Then when he came back from Korea, then did we go to, where did we go after that?
Fort Sale again,
Fort Sill again, okay.
then Germany again.
Then when he got orders from Germany, Karen was born by then, and she wasn't old enough to, go, as a family. So Mom had to stay back with us, and Dad had to go on to Germany by himself. And, when she was how old, Mom, when we could take Karen? How old was she?
No,
Was she, did
was
you have to
still-
wait 3 months or 6 months? She was just a baby.
Yeah.
So, and you went by yourself, right?
Mhm.
So, she had to fly all the way to Germany by herself with a 3-year-old and a baby. And I can remember us taking a passport, even though I was 3, I still remember going for, take our passport, because all 3 of us had to be together.
You were afraid of the
It was a
ceiling.
scary place, that's how I remember it was, because they had all kinds of netting on the ceiling,
It
and
was a real high ceiling, so what he did is he run a net to lower it so he wouldn't be heating the whole upstairs, and she was scared of it.
Yeah, because that net was gonna come down on us, I
She stayed
I
nervous.
was nervous the whole time, I still remember that. Okay, so then, when he came back from Germany again, then we, were stationed in Massachusetts at Fort Devens. And then he was called up for Vietnam, and I believe we were on leave here in Oklahoma when that happened.
Bob and Women.
Yeah, we're at Bob and Woman's house in Tulsa when they lived there, and they called him up and we immediately cut our vacation short because he was called up to go to Vietnam. So when he finished serving in Vietnam, then we, Mom, Karen and I, we stayed in Massachusetts and at Fort Devens area because Mom was working at the hospital there at that time, so we stayed in the area.
And we had friends, a lot of
Friends there, and so we
just stayed.
you know, and when you went to work, we'd always stay with people after school and stuff like that. So, we didn't know where he was gonna come back or anything like that. So then when we got, from Massachusetts, then we went to, when he came back from the war, then, we went to Maryland. He got stationed with the National Security, agency there at Maryland. So that was at Fort Meade. So that's where he stayed until he retired. And,
Went to Turkey first.
you went to Turkey first, yeah, while we were in Maryland, you went to Turkey first. And then when he was, come back from Turkey, he got stationed there at Fort Meade again in Maryland. And he was gonna retire at 20 years. Well, he ended up retiring at 21 because I asked him if he would stay in one more year so I could finish high school. I wanted to finish high
Stay
school
with
with my
your
class. I
friends.
wanted to stay with my class and finish because I wouldn't have been able to finish if he had done it 20 years. So he said he would if they didn't send him anywhere. And I said, well, that's the plan because that means we'd have to move again anyway because you don't get to stay, on post or with with the rest of them because you gotta move on.
Sponsor, if your
You
sponsor
gotta leave.
leaves.
So, so they did, they left him alone, they let him, stay one more year so I could graduate there in high school, so that's why he is 21, is that he did that for me. I prayed and prayed that they would do that. Oh, sorry.
It worked.
It worked. Until I learned to
Yeah,
do that.
the Lord.
So, to finish, this is your life. Now, sometimes you have surprise guests, surprise people. I had asked the White House if they would recognize Mom and Dad's 60th anniversary, because sometimes they'll do that, and I didn't know if this presidency would do that. This term. So I did write a letter to the president asking him if he would recognize Mom and Dad's 60th anniversary, and we just got it not too long ago. And he sent a card, and then the surprise guest is the president, because he also sent a picture of himself signed. I'll read the card. Says we are honored to congratulate you on your wedding anniversary. This is a momentous occasion. It's cause of great celebration, and we join your family and friends in commemorating the legacy of love you have created over your marriage of 60 years. May your hearts grow ever fonder and your love ever deeper in the years ahead, and may God continue to bless you and your life together. Sincerely, Donald Trump.
Commander-in-Chief.
Was there any collusion there?
Were the Russians involved? Putin sent that.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to Stephanie. She's the oldest niece, and she was my, I've gotta tell them that story too. She's been my partner in crime, putting this all together. Mom and Dad had never, ever wanted us to do anything. We always did little family things, and they hated that. Oh, you don't have to go to all that trouble, you know, the 50th thing, we just did a little family thing. Well, when it became their 60th, Stephanie had told me, you know, we need to do something, you know, they wouldn't let us do, you know, we didn't do anything for 50th, and not everybody, you know, reaches this mark, you know, a 60th year. So, Stephanie said, she said they're just gonna have to deal with it. So,
Yeah, we
they
tried
did.
to talk them out of it.
They did, but I have you know, once they knew, because I had to get a list of guests and everything, and I have you know, then they started getting into it, because Mom got that address book out, looking for people, and people that, you know, their friends that I didn't know, so he wanted to be sure to include his McDonald's group for sure. So, I'll let Stephanie talk now.
Okay. Yeah, so earlier I was talking to my sister Jessica about the blessing card. So if you haven't written a blessing down, you should do that. But I joked and told Grandma that I just wrote down that Stephanie is a blessing, right?
Yeah, she told me that. She's really patting herself on the back.
No, but so I was kind of thinking today, you know, words to say.
No, I did too. I did too.
You know, this is a big thing. I don't know a lot of people that make it to 60 years together. I can say that I truly appreciate it.
Take your time.
You're
We appreciate you too.
You know, growing up, Grandpa, every time that, well, really Brian and I leave the house now, when we visit, Grandpa never lets us sleep without telling us, be good to each other, and love each other.
Maybe you should be telling me.
Does she live up to that, Brian?
She does,
Does she?
Good granddaughter.
So I appreciate that reminder every time we leave your house. Anyway, no, but we truly love and appreciate you both for everything that you've done. You know, even for Jessica and Riley, as we've grown up. I took, really my first video game was played at Grandpa's house, of all things. You showed me Pac-Man. I remember Jessica and I loving that. I was always 5 trying to go out to their house when they lived out in the country, as I called it. Every time we'd hit that old dirt road, I remember Mom saying in the car as a little girl, I'd be so excited. I knew we were almost to Grandma and Papa's house.
That's
Yeah,
Hog
as
Guy.
soon as
Dirt
you-
road. There's a lot of good memories. So, anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop.
Okay. Karen, do you wanna say anything?
Oh gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot.
I'll just open it up to the floor then, if you don't. It's up to you,
I have something to say.
everybody.
Okay, well, first I want to congratulate Yvonne and Harold, we call her Yvonne, family. Yvonne and Harold for being together for 6 years, being lucky enough to love each other and share your life together for that long. I had several memories I was gonna share with you, but I'm just gonna share two. One of them was when Yvonne graduated from high school. I was probably like 3 or 4 years old. And she came across the stage and I was standing there and I started talking, there's Yvonne, there's Yvonne. And she was going, shh, shh. I said, but Yvonne, hi. And then this is my earliest memory I can remember in my life, and it's kind of sketchy. And I can remember Yvonne having a date, Harold, and I always cried as she left me. And now I think maybe it was Harold was just tired. He didn't really care if I was crying or not, but he wouldn't leave until I quit crying. So anyway, my gift is for you to have a day on me, and I will not cry.
That fell
Pull
out.
out your card over on the floor.
Oh, it's over there.
Oh, yeah, your card fell out, sure.
When you were waving. Oh, when I was waving.
Talking with your hands.
Anyway, this is a day on me. I will not cry. I will not make you cry me. Enjoy your day.
Thank you,
Thank
sweetheart.
you, sweetie.
Anybody else wanna share?